By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to drop off the stubborn belly fat and your love handles. How do I know? Well, what I'm about to show you inside this video, which is so easy to implement, I've already done with hundreds of guys inside our coaching program, and all of them have got the results that they wanted to see. We've used this with guys like Matt, Brian, Josh, Jack, Sean, Craig, and Jack, and all of these guys have lost 10 kg plus in quite an easy way. For those of you who are new around here, my name is Mark. I've been an online coach for the last close to 4 years, and I've coached over 400 guys to lose their first 10 kg of body fat and get abs for the first time. Now, I don't say this stuff from a pedestal. Me, myself, have also been very out of shape with really unhealthy habits, and I've gone from that position, lacking all of the confidence that I had, to being in a spot where I stayed lean year round and actually stepped on stage competing in bodybuilding, doing 2 shows. So I have lived this beforehand before teaching other guys. Now, the 4 steps that I'm going to walk you through to lose 10 kg is so easy to complete that if you do it and you come back to me and you're like, it didn't work, like you were doing it wrong, because it's just a bulletproof plan that it works. And if you do it correctly, you can begin shredding belly fat in as little as just 1 week. 7 days, you can start getting leaner if you implement what I'm about to show you. Now, there's 4 very easy steps that I'm going to walk through here. And if you are watching this and you're like, I don't want to lose 10 kg, I want to lose 5, that's okay. You can still use this to lose whatever amount of weight you want to lose. So let's go through the 4 easy steps. The first thing is king of the castle. It's a calorie deficit. If we want to lose body fat, we basically need to be consuming less calories than we're burning. Now, you can see how many calories you're burning in what's called a TDEE graph, so a total daily energy expenditure. And you'll see it split up into 4 sections. So you have your BMR, which makes up about 70%. You have your NEAT, which is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's like moving about, like walking, although some people class it as exercise, fidgeting. That makes up for around about 15 to 20%. And then the other 10, 20% is made up from your thermic effect of feeding, which is the amount of calories you burn from digesting, and your thermic effect of exercise. So cardio or training inside the gym. So this is the 4 areas that we lose or we burn our body fat. Now, we can implement a couple things within this to make sure that we're consistently falling off. Now, being in a calorie deficit is an area that a lot of lads struggle. So I'm going to show you how to set up your calories and your macros. Now, to make it very easy, if you're someone who's sedentary, so you sit 9-5 job and then you go home, you kind of chill at night, multiply your body weight in pounds by 12. This is going to be your fat loss calories. If you're someone who is a little bit more active, still walks about at work, maybe doesn't train as much, multiply it between 13 to 14 in pounds. And if you're someone who's super active, you train, you're on your feet all day at work, you do like an active job like a builder or something like that, multiply it by 15. So that's what's going to give you your fat loss calories. Now, your macronutrients is important within this. And there's 3 macronutrients. There's carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Protein and fats are the 2 main ones. Carbohydrates, we can chat around. So the very easy way to work out your protein target is multiply your weight in pounds by 0.8 gram to 1 gram. If you're a little bit heavier, go for the 0.8. If you're a little bit lighter in the scales, go for the 1 gram. For me personally, I go for the 1 gram because it's easier to calculate. Now, to work out your fats, the way that I do this with my clients is I multiply their weight by 70%. So if you're someone who's 100 kilogram, you would do 70% of this would be 70. You would have 70 gram of fats. I would advise not going below 35 to 40 grams of fat. And I would also recommend not going super high within your fats. Fats are going to be key to help you regulate your hormonal balance, can help with fullness as well. And then whatever calories we have left, we can just distribute from our carbohydrates. If you're someone who isn't as active, more sedentary lifestyle, probably drop your carbohydrates a little bit lower because you won't really need them as much for exercise. If you're someone who's more active, push your carbohydrates up higher, particularly when you're training. Okay, so that is exactly how you're going to find out the calories and what you need to consume to be in a calorie deficit. Within that, make sure you're eating good sources. Yes, you can lose body fat by eating calorie deficit calories of McDonald's, but you won't look great, okay? So make sure you're having 80 to 90% whole source foods. So your meats, for example, salmon, steak, whitefish, chicken, lean beef mince or lean turkey mince. And your carbohydrates, pasta, rice, potato, Foods like this that are actually going to be very dense in micronutrients, as well as your fruits, your banana, your blueberries. Okay, so good quality foods within the deficit that you're consuming. And the reason for that is because this is drastically going to improve your energy levels and visually how you look. Now, how much do you want to be dropping? Like, what's the target? Anywhere between 0.5 to 1% of your total body weight. Now, that's every single week. It's not always going to drop every single week, okay, because weight loss, fat loss is two different things. That's why progress photos are really key. But you want to be aiming to see that over the course of the month. You know, each week around about 1% to 0.5 to 1% of your body weight. Now, if that rate of drop starts to slow over a couple of weeks, you can just increase your output, or you can decrease your calories by 1 to 200. Now, if all of this is seeming a little bit confusing and you just want to have something built out bespoke for you with guidance and accountability to actually go and do it, I've left my diary inside the description. It's a free peak performance strategy call to basically find out if you need help. If you do, cool, we'll sit down, we'll chat, no strings attached at all. If you're the right fit, then great, we can start talking around that. If not, you're still going to have some low-hanging fruits that you can go and implement on your own. Okay, then we have training. Very important aspect here. When you're losing body fat, you don't want to just lose the fat and then look skinny, because then you'll be probably just as upset as when you were carrying a little bit more timber. So training is really, really important to put you in a position where as you start to lose body fat, you look good. Yeah, so as the skin starts to get tighter because you're losing body fat, you start to fill out the arms in your t-shirt because you've got bigger biceps. You start to have quite a boxy aesthetic type of physique. Training is really important within that. Now, the common mistakes that I see is people deem training as loads of cardio and no resistance sessions. That is how you're going to end up skinny. So you need to have some form of structure there when it comes to your resistance training, lifting weights, getting strong. Now remember that fat loss and weight loss are two separate things, and training is really important within that. Fat loss is a variable of weight loss. Weight loss is everything. It's your water, your body fat, your muscle, your glycogen. It's all these different things. Fat loss is body fat that you're carrying, okay, visceral and subcutaneous. So that's what fat loss, we aim for fat loss. Now training is also really good because it actually increases your metabolism. So the more muscle that you have, the more metabolically active you are. What I was saying at the start, your BMR, basal metabolic rate, that will increase. So you can actually burn more calories by doing nothing. So training is going to help you lose fat tenfold, which down the line makes it easier to diet when you're trying to pull off the last bits of body fat. You don't need to go as aggressive. And remember, a quote I always lived by, and I tell all of my clients, if you want to look like you've gained 10 kg of muscle, lose 10 kg of fat. Like, it is as simple as that. And if you match up here, the deficit, your training, man, you're on to a winner, okay? You need to get your training on point. Okay, so we've got calorie deficit, we've got training. The third aspect is your overall expenditure. Now remember, when I say expenditure, I don't mean you need to do like hours and hours and hours of cardio. You don't. You absolutely do not. What I would recommend you do is over the course of a week, calculate how many steps you get roughly over the course of each day. Take an average. Let's say you're doing like 7,000 steps. Rather than going 0 to 100 and thinking that you need to get 15k steps in, run a marathon and do 60 minutes on the Stairmaster, just increase your steps by 1,000. Small incremental changes is what's going to make the difference here. So if you're in 7k, go to 8. Over time, go to 9. Over more time, go to 10. This is how you can progress your fat loss through loads of different variables. Again, the same with your calories. If you're not losing and you're on 2,500 calories, go to 2,400. Make these small tweaks. Then when you reach a point where steps are a breeze, you can implement what I would recommend less cardio, low intensity, steady state. Heart rate round about 135 beats per minute, 140, 150, maybe up to 160, where we'll predominantly use fat as an energy source, not burn fat, use it as an energy source, which keeps our carbohydrates for step 2, which is training. And this can be done on the Stairmaster, the bike, incline treadmill walk, the cross trainer, you pick. Start low, start 10 minutes, build it up to 15 minutes, 20, and build it up over time. We've got a lot of guys who are like really busy and like cardio isn't something they can really get doing. So we just focus on steps. Like, just play with the variables that you've got to play with. There's not a set way of doing this. There's options. Pick what option works best for you. What's most sustainable. So the guys that we've got, like Brian, for example, who runs 2 companies, 2 kids. He's not got a lot of time. So we focus on steps, do cardio when we can, focus on his foods, and that keeps him moving in his fat loss, which ultimately got him losing 16 kg and getting abs for the first time. So it obviously works. Now, a couple other ways that steps and less is really, really key when it comes to fat loss is your digestion. Digestion is massive when it comes to losing weight. If you've someone who's bloating all the time, fix your sources, do some steps, walk a little bit more. So it helps reduce bloating, it helps improve your composition, it helps improve joint health. Like the upside of just walking is crazy. So focus on that. That's going to help you get into a deficit even more. And then we have the final aspect, which is probably the most overlooked, and it's recovery. Recovery is massive when it comes to putting your body in as a stress-free environment to lose the stubborn belly fat and the love handles. If you've got stress levels that are low, your hormones are going to be functioning well, which is really important, your hormonal balance, when it comes to losing fat. Ways that you can improve this: get your sleep on point. That's probably the biggest one, actually. Just sleep. Yeah, get 7 hours of sleep. Get a consistent rhythm going with your sleep. So regulate your circadian rhythm, which is going to help massively with your hormones tenfold. Now, how you can improve sleep: nighttime, get yourself into a dark room, get blackout blinds is what I would recommend. I actually experienced when I was living in Manchester, we never had blackout blinds, and I noticed my sleep was pretty poor. And now when I'm living, we have blackout blinds and I sleep like a baby, an absolute baby. But also because I've got a nighttime routine. So don't be scrolling on TikTok just before you get into bed. You know, avoid it, because blue light exposure is really going to fry your brain. So do something that you associate with going to sleep, whether that be having a cup of tea or, you know, just sitting on the couch, relaxing, speaking to your partner, you know, whatever it is. Do something that you associate. Reading is a really good one, journaling. Something you associate with switching off and going to sleep. That's really, really going to help. And then we have actually managing your real stress. Now, like, I can't come in and tell you an exact way to manage your stress, because I'm not going to patronize you like that. Everyone has their own life. They all have their own stress levels. One thing we do inside our peak performance program, which helps a lot of guys, is writing down a big list of all the stressors you have in your life. So if you go down, write down everything that you have. I've got, you know, the car's doing this, the kids are doing this, I need to fix this, I need to pay this bill, I need to do this task, and write them all down. Get a column: can do, can't do. Things that you can do to help that situation or that problem, that stress. Things you can't do. See the things you can't do? Put them to the side. Like, you can't do anything about them. So why stress? The things that you can do, then you can go into a separate list. You can write down the things that you're able to do, and it just rationalizes the steps you can take to manage your stress and fix your problems. So there you go. There's a real big bonus tip to be able to manage stress. And then rest days. Something I see a lot is guys who try to lose weight, and I talk to them. I'm like, how many days you training? 7, mate. 7 days. I'm in the gym 7 days a week. No pain, no gain. No, like, utilize rest days. Let your body recover. That's like turning the engine on in your car and just driving 24 hours per day. Like, at some point, you're going to run out of petrol or electricity in these futuristic cars, and it's going to stop running. Yeah, your body's the exact same. Okay, so you need to find time to relax, i.e. car, fill it back up. You need to recharge your energy. So utilize your rest days effectively to put your body in a position where it's not stressed and it can actually start losing the belly fat. Now, I promise you right now, if you utilize these 4 steps, you will lose body fat. Probably more than you think you're actually capable of losing. But as with most things, theory is one thing, application is another. And the common trend that we see lads struggle with is not necessarily knowing what to do, but actually doing it. And I get it. Me, myself, I've worked with a coach for 3+ years. So if that's something you feel that you are struggling with, again, book in that free call with me. You maybe just need told that you actually don't need help and you just need a conversation to get yourself moving. But if accountability is your struggle point and you are implementing these, but you find that you can't stick to it, then reach out and let me know. If accountability isn't your issue and you do implement these, let me tell you, you're going to start losing some body fat and you're going to start feeling more confident. You're going to stop pinching the love handles. The t-shirts are going to fit better and you're going to be a completely new person. And I genuinely hope that this video manages to do that for you. Now, as always, if you found this valuable, please leave a like on the video. or even drop a comment. That goes a long way. Let me know what you guys want to see in these videos, because they're going to be coming thick and fast. And of course, follow the channel. I can't even explain how far that goes, you know, getting a follow and getting some support. And look, my aim is to educate you guys as much as I can and give as much help. So let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it as a team here on the YouTube channel and get you the help and the education you need to get the body of your dreams and become the person that you want to be.